His master's final words were a solemn command. Liam was to guard the priory's warded revenant. That corpse had lain perfectly preserved for a century. The revenant was unervingly handsome. Liam often stole glances at his closed eyes. Then came All Hallows' Eve. The revenant suddenly opened crimson eyes. His cold fingers brushed against Liam's neck. He whispered about the 49 times Liam had touched him. He noted the 103 times Liam had watched him. He said the young acolyte owed him for 3 years of service. Before his master passed, he shoved a yellowed page into Liam's hand. His withered fingers dug painfully into Liam's skin. The master warned him to watch the revenant. He stressed the danger on All Hallows' Eve. Liam knelt by the bed, nodding repeatedly. The master added with a weak breath that the body was not ordinary. Before he could finish, his hand fell limp. His eyes remained open, fixed on the ceiling. Liam tucked the page away. He gently closed his master's eyes. He placed the coffin in the main hall's protective circle. Then he immediately went to the side chapel. An alabaster sarcophagus rested there. Inside was the priory's centennial revenant. It was a relic from his master's own teacher. His master had lit incense for it twice a month. But Liam was never allowed near it. His master called it a thing of great evil. Yet Liam could never resist looking. Only after his master's death did he see the body clearly. He was exquisitely formed. His features were like a painting. His lips were the color of dark cherries. Even with eyes shut, his beauty was breathtaking. A cracked obsidian signet ring was on his right thumb. The sarcophagus lid bore his name, Silas. Liam followed his master's instructions. He cleaned the body and recited prayers daily. First, it was just a duty. Soon he found himself lingering by the sarcophagus. He would circle it an extra time during his rituals. He did it just to get another look. Sleepless nights found him in the chapel. He would sleep by the coffin with a lantern. One day he changed the incense ashes. He noticed the dark crimson robes were loosely tied. A strange familiarity washed over him. He murmured the name from the lid, Silas. His fingertips traced the perfect shape of his lips. Liam remarked on the length of his eyelashes. He quickly pulled his hand back, startled by his own boldness. A drop of candle wax fell on Silas's brow. Liam rushed to wipe it away. His finger brushed against the revenant's skin. It was smoother and colder than polished stone. His heart skipped a beat. He began counting his secret glances from that day. On the third All Hallows' Eve, he drank some of his master's old bourbon. He leaned drunkenly over the sarcophagus. He stared at Silas's face. The flickering candlelight made his lips seem vibrant. They looked as if they had just tasted blood. They were dangerously alluring. Liam mumbled that if only he were alive. He reached out and touched his lips. In an instant, a cold hand seized his wrist. A voice asked if he had seen enough. The beautiful man in the sarcophagus opened his eyes. Scarlet pupils stared into Liam's terrified gaze. The young acolyte cried out. He stumbled backward, his breath catching in his throat. Silas sat up slowly. A slight smile played on his lips. He recounted 3 years of attention. 49 times touched, 103 times watched. He gracefully stepped out of the sarcophagus. He cornered Liam against the altar. His cold fingers traced the line of Liam's throat. He declared it was time to settle the account. Liam's back was pressed against the table. He fumbled for the rowanwood dagger his master used as a table support. The blade was barely drawn. Silas flicked 2 fingers without even looking. The dagger shattered into dust. Liam panicked, thinking his master bought a fake. Silas offered him a choice with a soft laugh. His fingertip rested over Liam's heart. His deep voice sent a chill through his bones, a drop of heart's blood. His lips, like ruby, were close to Liam's ear. A cold dread crept up his spine. Or Silas proposed, Liam could become his consort. Liam wanted to scream for help. He was about to refuse, but Silas casually snapped his fingers. The sound of restless spirits echoed from outside. Liam knew he had lost. He had grown up in the priory, but his master never taught him the arcane arts. He always said he was an outcast from the order. He claimed he was only a warden for Silas. He wasn't qualified to teach, so Liam remained ignorant. If he had known the Revenant would awaken, he would have learned some spells. Now he was a prisoner. He knew Heart's blood was precious, but his life was on the line. At Silas's gesture, he bit his fingertip. He forced a drop of blood onto Silas's lips. The Revenant's tongue flicked out to taste it. A sharp pain bloomed on Liam's collarbone. He pulled his collar open. An entwined vine pattern appeared on his skin. It matched the design on Silas's ring. The pact was sealed. The seal was broken. Silas laughed softly. With a wave of his hand, the spirits outside vanished. He explained that 300 years ago, the Order used a marriage contract to trap him. He held Liam's chin. His thumb brushed against Liam's lips. He thought asking for a true consort now was only fair. A loud crash came from the main hall. A new crack appeared on Silas's ring. Silas clicked his tongue, noting the disturbance was considerable. He mused that the old man's coffin could no longer hold. The master's coffin was shaking violently. Silas's eyes narrowed. He remarked that his father-in-law had left Liam quite a dowry. Liam looked and his heart stopped. The coffin lid was half open. Black mist swirled around it. Human skin puppets knelt at each corner of the protective circle. Black threads of energy streamed from them into the coffin. Liam cried out his master's name. His throat felt tight. Silas scoffed that it wasn't him. It was someone using his master's body to cultivate dark power. He pulled Liam back. A complex emotion flickered in his red eyes. He stated that the order hadn't changed at all. A blackened, clawed hand shot out from the coffin. It aimed for Liam's throat. A red silken cord flew from Silas's sleeve. It wrapped around the clawed hand. As Silas pulled, Liam saw his master sit up. His face was covered in black veins. His eyes were completely white. Black smoke poured from his mouth. It spoke with his master's voice. It told someone named Julian to run. They were coming. Liam felt a chill run down his spine. He asked if his master was still alive. Silas snorted, calling it a cheap trick. His fingertip gathered red light. As he prepared to strike, the master's body convulsed. The black mist formed a hideous face in the air. The face laughed, its voice grating, taunted Silas. It asked if he thought breaking the seal meant freedom. 300 years had passed. It questioned if the order would tolerate his existence. Silas's eyes blazed. He declared that a mere thrall was not worthy of mentioning the order. The red light shot forward like a sword, pierced the ghostly face. The face screamed and dissipated. The master's body fell back into the coffin, looking normal again. Liam knelt beside it. He saw a folded parchment clutched in his master's hand. He unfolded it. It was his master's familiar handwriting. It was addressed to Dustin. If he was reading this, the seal was broken. Silas was a corpse king sealed by the order 300 years ago. It warned him not to believe Silas. He did have a marriage contract with him in a past life, but it was a ruse to lure him into a trap. It urged him to go to Stonehaven to find Archmage Valerius. The writing stopped abruptly. Liam looked up at Silas. He was rubbing the crack on his signet ring. So that was how it was. Silas smiled, a humorless expression. He told Liam his master lied to him even in death. He said going to Stonehaven was suicide. Liam clutched the note, insisting his name was Dustin. Silas moved closer. His cold fingers touched Liam's face. He questioned why his blood could break the seal. Why did the same mark appear on his collarbone? He leaned in, whispering in his ear. He said he recognized him the moment he saw him. Liam backed away against the coffin. He argued that even if he was Julian in a past life, that was 300 years ago. He was just a simple acolyte now. Silas laughed softly. He called Julian anything but simple. He was the Order's prodigy. At 17, he could scribe celestial runes. At 20, he created the celestial fulmination technique. Silas paused, a hint of pain in his eyes. He said it was also Julian who drove the soul spike into his heart. Liam's head throbbed. Fragments of images flashed in his mind. A man in red robes, a look of utter betrayal, a thick, cruel spike. The images vanished. A sharp pain shot through his chest. The vine mark on his collarbone grew hot. A strange power coursed through him. Silas's expression changed. He stated that the pact was backlashing. Their bond required a balance of energies. Liam's current body could not handle his necrotic power. Liam thought of Stonehaven from his master's note. Maybe Archmage Valerius could help. Silas scoffed, saying Valerius would want him destroyed. He lifted Liam's chin. He declared that Liam owed him a debt only he could repay. Suddenly, loud noises came from the main door. Voices announced an inspection from the Order. Silas's eyes flashed with killing intent. Liam quickly grabbed his arm, telling him not to be rash. The door was kicked open. Silas dissolved into red mist. He flowed into the mark on Liam's collarbone. 5 people in the Order's attire rushed in. A compass in their hands spun wildly before pointing at Liam. One announced the overwhelming necrotic energy meant a demon was present. He ordered Dustin to surrender. Before Liam could react, the 5 disciples shook bronze bells in unison. Countless memories flooded Liam's mind. He saw himself in wedding clothes. A marriage contract lay before him. The names Julian and Silas were side by side. His mentor's voice echoed. Remember your mission. Gain the Corpse King's trust. Lure him into the array. Liam knelt, clutching his head. The memories were like shards of glass. The mark on his collarbone burned with agony. Silas was forced out of his body. He held Liam tightly, as if afraid to lose him again. His red pupils constricted. His voice was tense as he asked if the little acolyte remembered. Liam looked up at him. His blurred vision saw the pained face from their wedding night. He started to say the soul spike was not his choice. But the 5 disciples saw Silas emerge. They exchanged glances and took their positions. They cast out enchanted chains. They shouted that the Corpse King had appeared and to form the eradication array. Silas calmly set Liam aside. He walked towards them with a cold smile. The red cord from his sleeve expanded. Just as they were about to clash, Liam's body moved on its own. His right hand formed a sign. He drew a purple sigil in the air. The words celestial fulmination left his lips. A thick bolt of purple lightning struck. The chains shattered instantly. There was complete silence. The Order members were stunned. Even Silas looked at Liam in shock. The lead disciple's face was pale. He stammered that celestial fulmination was a lost art. Unless his eyes widened, he realized Liam was the reincarnation of Archmage Julian. Silas pulled Liam behind him. A complex look was in his red eyes. He remarked that Julian was always like this. He was a master of deception. but he was soft-hearted at crucial moments. Liam stared at his own hand. Purple sparks danced on his fingertips. It was proof that what Silas said was true. He was Julian. 300 years ago, the Order discovered a sleeping corpse king. Silas was about to awaken. His power could threaten their dominion. The Order sent Julian, their most gifted disciple. He was to get close to Silas and lure him into a sealing array. But Julian found Silas to be lazy. He was always sleeping. He showed no signs of malice. He was more human than monster. Julian couldn't find a weakness. He stalled for time, looking for a flaw in the sealing array. He wanted to give Silas a chance to survive. He found a page describing a symbiotic covenant. It was an ancient pact for bonded partners. The word partner made him blush. He tried to throw the page away. It landed in Silas's lap. Silas glanced at it, his ears turning red. Julian retrieved the page and studied it in secret. He tried to modify the sealing array into the life-sharing pact. A platonic bond was still a bond, he reasoned. One night, Julian fell asleep while working. Silas gently placed a cloak over him. Julian woke up. He saw a rare gentleness in Silas's eyes. His defenses began to crumble. They both silently acknowledged their growing feelings. On the night before Julian's recall to the Order, they drank together. Silas asked him if he would truly bond with him if he were not a corpse king. Julian, emboldened by wine, asked what if he were not of the Order. They smiled, leaving the rest unsaid. But when Julian returned, his mentor and the elders seized him. They suspected his loyalty. They used a mind-probing spell to see his memories. They used a fake marriage contract to lure Silas. Their wedding chamber was the center of the sealing array. An innocent Silas placed his own symbiotic ring on Julian's finger. As he leaned in to kiss him, Julian's mind heard a sharp command. Strike now. He lost control of his body. Under his mentor's command, he plunged the soul spike into Silas's heart. Silas fought back fiercely at first. Then he saw Julian's emotionless face. He asked a pained, broken why. Julian couldn't answer. Black blood from Silas's lips dripped onto his hand. It burned like acid. The shock of it broke the mentor's control. Julian regained his body. Using his memories, he bit his fingertip. He used his blood and soul to cast the symbiotic covenant. He offered half his own heart. Before the pact could fully form, the elders rushed in. The memory ended there. Liam felt his body go limp. The vine marks on both their collarbones suddenly flared. Silas grunted, clutching his chest. He staggered. The 5 disciples saw their chance and cast a rain of golden talismans. At the last second, Liam bit his tongue. He pressed his hands together. A red light erupted from the vine marks. It pulsed outward, incinerating the talismans. The 5 disciples were thrown back. Silas looked at Liam, his expression unreadable. It finally softened into a sigh. He lifted the weakened Liam into his arms. He whispered for the little acolyte to hold on. The pack's backlash was severe. Liam's body couldn't handle it. Silas carried him as they fled. They found refuge in a ruined chapel near Stonehaven. Liam curled up in a corner. He watched a faint red thread that now connected his wrist to Silas's. It had appeared after their escape. Silas sat mating. He warned Liam not to touch it. Not unless he wanted to feel his soul being torn again. Liam cautiously poked the thread. A sharp pain shot up his spine. He gasped. Some advice was worth taking. He suddenly remembered the ring. He asked where the obsidian ring was now. Silas held up his right hand. The ring on his thumb was covered in spiderweb cracks. He said it returned to him after Julian died. It carried his blood and a fragment of his soul. Liam's heart hammered. The mark on his collarbone grew warm. The red thread between them brightened. A strange heat flowed into his body. Liam arched his back, feeling fire in his veins. Purple sparks shot from his fingertips. They scorched black marks on the stone floor. Silas was instantly by his side. His cold hand pressed against Liam's forehead. Extreme heat and cold met. Liam trembled violently. Silas's voice was hoarse. He realized the symbiotic covenant was repairing his soul. He ripped open Liam's collar. The vine mark had spread to his heart. The pattern was a complex sigil. It matched the engraving inside the ring. Silas explained that Julian had used half his heart to cast the pact. Now it was coming to claim the other half. A rustling sound came from outside. Silas turned sharply. The red thread pulled taut. Liam saw a dozen paper dolls squeezing through the chapel door. Silas identified them as the Order's soul-chasing puppets. He figured Julian's mentor had not given up on him. The dolls all shook small bells. The sound waves hit them. Liam's head pounded. Silas swayed. The sound passed through his body. It corroded small holes in his crimson robes. Liam lunged forward with a burst of strength. He instinctively bit his finger and drew a sigil in the air. His blood formed a temporary shield. But more dolls swarmed them. The ringing became a deafening chorus. Silas held his shoulders. He told him the pact was restoring his soul to be like Julian's. Liam finished his sentence. It meant he could use his magic. Another wave of pain hit him. He grabbed a fragmented memory. The celestial fulmination required 2 people. Silas's red eyes widened. Then he laughed softly. He said it was the same old trick after 300 years. He pulled Liam close, their foreheads touching. He told him not to resist. He told him to let the pact connect them completely. An icy coldness spread from his forehead. Liam's vision went black. He felt like he was falling into a sea of blood. The red thread exploded with blinding light, enveloping them. He heard himself chanting an unfamiliar incantation. Silas's voice was perfectly synchronized with his. Purple lightning erupted from their clasped hands. It filled the entire chapel. The paper dolls turned to ash. The bronze bells melted into molten puddles. When the last bell fell silent, Liam collapsed into Silas's arms. He noticed Silas's robes had turned a plain white. His own acolyte robes were now tinged with red. Silas stared at his blood-colored sleeves. He had a complex expression. He wondered what Julian had truly turned the pact into. Liam tried to answer but started coughing violently. His hair was turning white at a visible rate. Silas grabbed his wrist. The red thread flashed. As his power flowed back, Liam's hair color returned. But several new white strands appeared in Silas's hair. Silas gave a bitter laugh. It was not repair, but sharing. Liam was sharing the burden of his seal. Silas's robes slowly regained their crimson hue, but the white strands in his hair remained. Liam's memory of the pact was incomplete. He pulled out the tattered page from his master. He read the last blurred lines. The ultimate form was the concordance. The caster would. The rest was smeared with blood. But in the blank space was a drawing. 2 figures entwined by a red thread merged into one shadow. Silas took the page and glanced at it. He then burned it to ashes. His voice was cold, but Liam saw his hand was trembling. The concordance required willing hearts from both sides. Silas didn't finish his sentence, but Liam felt the unspoken words through the red thread. On that altar, they had both believed they were betrayed. Silas pulled him to his feet. The red thread swayed between them. Liam didn't resist its pull this time. In the shared memories, he had seen the most critical moment. Julian, at the cost of his own soul shattering, had planted a life-saving sigil in Silas's heart. Silas had begged him not to, but the pact, once started, could not be stopped. Julian had only time to say 3 words. Silas's red eyes had shed tears of blood. Liam pulled on the thread. His voice was hoarse. He asked Silas what he said to him on the altar. Silas froze. An unreadable emotion crossed his face. He began to speak. His words were cut off by a soul-stealing bell smashing through the window. Liam recognized it as his old mentor's personal artifact. He was still alive. Silas shouted for him to hold his breath. He knocked the bell aside, but its sound had already washed over them. Liam's vision went dark. He felt needles piercing his brain. His soul felt like it was being ripped apart. The red thread flickered violently. Silas grunted, a trickle of black blood escaping his lips. 12 golden talismans shot through the walls. They formed a celestial net at their feet. Liam bit his tongue to stay conscious. He saw the talismans were drawn with dark red blood. It was his own heart's blood. The mentor's voice echoed around them. He taunted them, saying he'd been collecting the boy's blood for 20 years. Silas shoved Liam towards the door, telling him to run. But it was too late. A blood-red array appeared on the floor. Skeletal hands burst from the ground, grabbing Liam's ankles. Liam slashed his palm and slammed it on the array's center. The array froze. Silas shattered the bone hands. As they were about to escape, the mentor appeared. 12 elders of the order flanked him. It was Archmage Valerius from the note. He had the same face as Liam's recent master. He had used the master's body. Valerius sneered at Dustin. He asked if he thought reincarnation could change anything. He said this was the price for betraying the order. He and the elders channeled their power into the array. Liam and Silas cried out in pain. Liam collapsed. He saw the golden light burning holes in Silas's robes. The red thread was breaking. The obsidian ring was nearly shattered. The vine mark on his own collarbone was spreading across his body. It formed a web of fine, blood-red runes. Valerius gloated about how Julian had modified the pact. He claimed it almost caused a catastrophe. He swore they would both be utterly destroyed today. Liam and Silas looked at each other and laughed. Their so-called sealing array was actually a refinement array. They wanted to absorb Silas's power to extend their own lives. They were hypocrites. Julian had overheard their plan before his death. As he lay dying, he had crawled to Silas. He wanted to understand the concordance. It was the highest bond between ancient partners. They shared not only life, but power, fate, and reincarnation itself. Silas's voice was weak but clear. He said Valerius knew the truth. He feared that together they could overthrow the order. Valerius roared in fury. The array constricted. The pressure was suffocating. Liam looked at Silas. He saw 2 reflections in his red eyes. One was the white-robed Julian. The other was the disheveled Dustin. More startling, Silas's pale face now had a faint flush of life. It was the final stage of the concordance. Silas caressed his face. His fingertips were warm. He explained that Liam gave him life. He gave Liam power. Valerius and the elders bit their fingers. They drew blood sigils in the air. The sigils became a storm of golden needles. At that moment, something inside Liam broke. His past life's power merged with his current body. He drew a purple lightning sigil. He and Silas chanted in unison. Celestial fulmination. Lightning and needles collided. The explosion blew the roof off the chapel. Through the dust, Liam saw Valerius's horrified face. Valerius screamed that it was impossible. The concordance was supposed to let him devour Silas's soul. Silas sneered. He said Valerius's apprentice had more conscience than him. The blood-red runes on Liam's body receded. They formed a small yin-yang symbol over his heart. The cracks on Silas's ring vanished. It was whole again. The name engraved inside, Julius, glowed faintly. Valerius laughed maniacally. He tore open his robes. A dark, twisted sigil was on his chest. It was Julian's own forbidden soul-locking spell. Valerius revealed he had locked the remaining fragments of Julian's soul within himself for 300 years. He gave Liam a choice: destroy him and destroy half of his own soul, or save Silas by letting him go. Silas urged him not to choose. He said dying with the old man was enough. Liam smiled at Valerius's smug face. He called him a fool for thinking he couldn't undo his own 300-year-old spell. He bit his tongue and drew the soul fragments to himself. Valerius's face twisted in disbelief. Silas appeared behind him. His hand pierced Valerius's chest, but no blood flowed. He pulled his hand back, holding a black pearl. He told the old man he should have died 300 years ago. He had survived by feeding on Liam's soul fragments, and by using the dark energy from the master's corpse. Valerius's body shriveled. He crushed something in his sleeve. The 12 elders were instantly drained of life. The chapel floor began to glow. It was the refinement array from 300 years ago. They were in the Order's main fortress all along. Liam tried to pull Silas away, but the obsidian ring shattered completely. The yin-yang symbol on his chest was fading. He cried out Silas's name. He frantically pulled out the tattered page. He drew the complete yin-yang symbol on it with his blood. He shouted the words for rebirth from death. The bloody page flew to the center of the array. The symbol on Silas's chest blazed with golden light. The blood-red runes of the array began to flow in reverse. Valerius stared at his wrinkling hands in horror. Silas's white robes turned crimson again. Liam's own robes became stark white. The red mole on his collarbone burned. The last of his soul was finally whole. Silas and Liam spoke in unison. What you took must now be returned. Valerius's body began to bloat and twist. The stolen life force poured out of him. It flowed into Silas. When the last of it was gone, Valerius's body collapsed into dust. The red light of the array faded. Liam stumbled towards Silas. The obsidian ring on his thumb was perfectly restored. Sunlight streamed in, cast a clear shadow behind Silas. He caught Liam as he fell. His body was no longer cold. Liam pressed against him. He could feel their hearts beating as one. He asked if Silas remembered what he said 300 years ago. He then pulled him into a desperate kiss. He said, "Silas, I love you." Then he fainted. He awoke to the familiar ceiling of the priory. A cool voice said he was awake. Silas sat by the bed in his red robes. He held a bowl of medicine. Sunlight fell on him, casting that clear, solid shadow. He was a revenant with a shadow. Silas helped him sit up. He held the medicine to Liam's lips. He gave him a piece of candied fruit after every sip. Liam noted his shadow. Silas explained it was a side effect of the concordance. His half-life for his half-death. The medicine was bitter, but Liam tasted only sweetness. He watched Silas's eyelashes cast their own tiny shadows. It was the first time in 300 years. Before he fully recovered, the priory underwent a transformation. Red ribbons and celebratory signs were everywhere. The master's memorial tablet was gone. A new two-person tablet stood in its place. It was engraved with the names Silas and Julian. Silas explained that while he was unconscious, he had cleansed the master's body. He had found him a peaceful resting place. He said the master was a fragment of Valerius's soul. But his love for Liam had been real. They had paid their respects together. Then Silas immediately dressed him in wedding clothes. He pointed outside to his dowry. A dozen paper dolls were sweeping the courtyard. Each had a tiny blood-red concordance sigil on its chest. Liam had to laugh. Silas had turned the Order's dark minions into housekeepers. The alabaster sarcophagus was now in the bedroom. It was decorated as their marital bed. Under the candlelight, Silas lifted him into his arms. He strode towards the sarcophagus. He announced it was the auspicious hour to consummate their union. Before Liam could protest, the lid slid shut with a heavy thud. It blocked out the light and the prying paper dolls. In the confined space, only their breathing and heartbeats remained. His cool lips brushed against Liam's ear. His voice was a low, seductive whisper. After all, a certain shameless acolyte had been watching for 3 whole years. It was time to settle that debt with interest.